Today we're talking about a common problem that, if navigated the right way, actually can help a couple move closer together and move towards a greater sense of oneness and intimacy and really connection, which all of those things produce joy in many ways. If it's not navigated the right way, it can become this four-alarm fire that makes you think all hope has been lost. We're really not as good as we thought we were, and the bottom is falling out, the sky is falling. Oh my gosh, we're really not doing good at all. The best way to describe it is something I do quite often, which is tell you what happened to us and maybe you can relate to it. We were about 4 years in, and Samantha, was having kind of $10,000 reactions to $10 problems. And we just kind of hit this point where it was like, what's going on? And it was chaos. She was just angry and upset. And I was internally freaking out, trying to be patient on the outside. But internally, I was like, uh-oh, something's wrong, something's going on. All the different sirens are going off, right? And we unfaithful love to freak out and panic. So I reached out to Rick, but Rick was full and didn't have any openings for both Samantha and I to get in, and Samantha wasn't able to get in either. And so I was begging Rick. I just said, man, find a time. I'll drive to your house. I'll come to your office. He said, come to my office at 6 a.m. Now, I'm not a morning person. 6 a.m. might as well be 4 a.m. And I said, okay. And so I was desperate. Went and met with Rick and started to talk to him about what we were experiencing. And he said, it sounds like you're coming up against this new opportunity for forgiveness inside of Samantha. It sounds like you're coming up against this difficult moment that she's having, and how you handle it is going to determine what direction things go. And I said, no, Rick, I think you're missing it. I'm doing great. This is Samantha's issue, not mine. You seem to, maybe it's too early for you too, Rick, that you're blowing it. This is Samantha's issue, certainly not mine. And he has a wonderful ability to simply go, yeah, stop making this about you and how awesome you are, and maybe reconsider the fact that Samantha needs you right now. Because quite honestly, how I was reacting was making it worse, not making it better. And see, if you are somewhere between maybe 2 and maybe even 10 years down the road, there's this thing that happens where the betrayed spouse, male or female, comes up against a new level of unforgiveness and resentment that has to be addressed. And Samantha hit this point where she couldn't understand it. She was getting angry, she was frustrated, she was lashing out, getting emotional. And I sat here going, it's been 4 years. Come on, get over it. You got to be kidding me. Here we go again. All the stupid things that we unfaithful say. And here's why we're blowing it. Here's kind of the bigger picture. The fact is, think about it. This is another opportunity for Samantha or for your spouse or partner to forgive you. And I'm making it worse when I'm the one that stands to benefit the most. Think about it. If I can make the process safe for her, if I can be compassionate, if I can be long-suffering, if I can just listen and be a safe place for her, maybe this will be the opportunity for her to forgive more of some resentment that she's uncovered, because once she does, we're going to get back to normal, and actually we're going to be better than normal because she's going to be more joyful, more patient, probably want to be more physically intimate and more kind, and we're going to have a greater sense of oneness. So I have an opportunity to make my own life better by humbling myself and being patient with this new blockage that Samantha's encountering. Now, before you say, Samuel, that seems very selfish that you just want to help Samantha heal because it's going to better you. That's not my whole motivation. But it's a way that we unfaithful can be jarred into understanding the bigger picture. See, I do want Samantha to heal. I do want Samantha to have a greater sense of freedom and healing. But sometimes we unfaithfuls don't see what's in it for us. We're blind. We're so selfish. We're so self-absorbed. I remember that 6 a.m. conversation, Rick said to me something that really kind of put me in my place. And he said, it's been 4 years, right? Oh my gosh. And I said, exactly. And he said, well, you should be an expert. You've had 4 years of being patient and handling Samantha's flooding and having some endurance about you and not dealing with shame and running to a shame-filled response and cowering in shame and all of that. You should be a natural now. You should be an expert at making this safe for Samantha to work through these emotions. And I said, I hate you, Rick, when you do these things to me and make me think this way. But it was true. And so I went home, sat down with Samantha and said, look, I want to talk. I want to say a few words and then let you talk. And she said, okay. And I said, so listen, you are struggling and you're hitting another layer of forgiveness. And if you'll just get over it, and if you'll just deal with that, we'll be great, because I'm not the problem, you're the problem. No, absolutely not. What I did is I sat down and I said, look, I had a long talk with Rick today, and I've been a bit of an ass. And it sounds or appears like maybe you're working through another layer of anger or resentment that you didn't know was there. And I just want you to know, I'll do whatever it takes. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to, retreat. I'm here. I'll be patient. We'll get into Rick when we can, but I just want you to feel like you can talk to me about maybe what you're experiencing, and I'm not going to get defensive and run away. After I finished this little 2-minute speech, Samantha started to cry, and she said, it helps me feel safe because I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I'm angry. I'm angry at myself, but yet I'm being angry at you. I don't even know what's going on. And it was a great moment for me to be able to say, well, maybe you're dealing with some unresolved anger or some rage. Maybe there's some forgiveness that has to be extended because, you only forgave what you were kind of conscious of. And so now you're getting healthy, and you're healthier than you've ever been, and now you're seeing things at a deeper level, and you're realizing, oh wait, there's still some pockets of anger or bitterness or resentment here, and now the best way to diffuse them is to forgive. And so I just want to ask you to forgive me. And Samantha would go, you don't need to. You've done all this before, and I don't know. And I said, that's okay. We can keep working through it. And so she had to work through some of it. She had to ask me just, what did it mean? She had to just say, I'm just angry because I feel like A, B, and C. I mean, we worked through it in a safe way. And it absolutely changed our recovery, and she's had to do that a few times. And so if that's happening to you, it's okay. Yes, I said that. It's okay. Now, if you're betrayed, let me give you a couple of quick tips. Number one, if you're experiencing this, ask yourself, has there been new information? Has there been a relapse? If not, then you're probably dealing with a new opportunity to forgive more, or maybe grieve more, or extend forgiveness through that struggle that you are now seeing in a way that you've never seen before. And so maybe work backwards and say, what am I feeling? What's triggering me to feel this way? What's causing me to feel this frustration and this anger when I've already dealt with this? And maybe start to journal about it, and maybe start to work through as best you can why you're feeling what you're feeling. If you're an unfaithful, don't make this about you. Don't get caught up in the fear and the frustration and the resentment that we typically will utilize when we feel like, oh my gosh, we've already talked about this before and blah, blah, blah. Make the process safe for them. Be a safe place to listen to them. Maybe even ask them to forgive you again for things that are going on inside of them. Just because they forgave you once doesn't mean that they won't have to forgive you again. And that doesn't mean that they didn't forgive you the first time. It meant that they only were able to forgive what they were conscious of. And now, because there's been safety and momentum, they're coming into an awareness of, wait, I still have some residue. I still have some more resentment. And I didn't see it until now, and I'm healthy now, and I'm seeing more of it. And so now I'm going to take those principles of forgiveness and apply them to this new area, this new struggle. And I'm going to diffuse that bitterness, and I'm going to move on down the road, and it's going to be oneness, and it's going to be harmony, and it's going to be awesome. You may say, awesome, Samuel, that's a stretch. It can get awesome, but it's going to take both of you working together. And it's going to require that you unfaithful can be safe for them to walk through this. And it's going to take you betrayed processing through why you're feeling what you're feeling. Reasoning out, okay, what's causing A, what's causing B, and how did I get here? And maybe you haven't forgiven them for that, or maybe you are having a greater awareness. Either way, I promise you, you can get through this. This may actually happen again. It may happen a few times, because as you get healthier and healthier, you see things with greater clarity and greater insight. And the way through this blockage is typically forgiveness.